1.
Read the passage from The Last Trail, then answer the questions. Adapted from The Last Trail by Zane Grey. Twilight of a certain summer day many years ago shaded softly down over the wild Ohio Valley, bringing keen anxiety to a traveler on the lonely river trail. Shepard had expected to reach Fort Henry with his group on this night, putting a welcome end to the long, rough, hazardous journey through the wilderness. But the swift, oncoming dusk made it necessary to halt. It seemed like the narrow trail, difficult enough to follow during the daylight, led now into a web of gloomy paths with no sure endings. Matters were made worse by the fact that the guide had abandoned them that morning, disappearing with vague excuses that made no sense to Shepard, the leader of the little group.
On the interruption, if you have Miss Napoleon Susan.
I wouldn't so much mind another night in camp if the guide had not left us, he said in a low tone to the driver. The worried driver shook his shaggy head and growled while he began unhitching the horses. "Did ye notice anything strange about that guide?" he asked in a low voice. "Did ye see how uneasy he was last night? Did it strike ye he left us in a hurry, kind of excited like, in spite of his offhand manner?" "Yes, he acted odd, or so it seemed to me," replied Shepard. "How about you, Will?" A young man climbed out of the wagon. "Yes, now that I think of it, I believe he was acting strangely. He behaved like a man who expected that something was going to happen. We're close to the fort now, though. We should make it all right." "Well, I have my opinion," said the driver in a gruff whisper. "Ye was in a hurry to be a-goin', and wouldn't take any notice. The fur traders at Fort Pitt didn't give this guy Jenks a good send-off. Said he wasn't well known around Pitt, 'cept he could handle a knife some. Now we be spending another night here, and no way to know if that renegade wolf pack is still out there or not." "We won't borrow trouble. We've made it all this way without incident. I feel certain we can perform the remainder of the journey in safety." Then Shepard beckoned to Will, and they began to gather firewood. A campfire soon crackled with hiss and sputter, and fragrant wood smoke filled the air. Steaming kettle and savory stew cheered the hungry travelers, making them forget for the time the desertion of their guide and the fact they might be lost. The last glow faded entirely out of the western sky. Night enveloped the forest, and the little glade was a bright spot in the gloom. Suddenly, with a jolt, Will sat straight up. "What is it?" asked Shepard sharply. "I heard footsteps," he whispered. He pointed with a trembling finger toward the impenetrable blackness beyond the campfire. All he could hear All could then hear a soft and stealthy patter on the leaves. Then a dozen pairs of menacing yellow eyes appeared in the blackness just beyond the fire. Part A. When does the passage take place? A. In ancient times. B. In the past. C. In the present. D. In the future. Part B. Which detail from the passage supports the answer to Part A? A. The fur traders at Fort Pitt didn't give this guy Jenks a good send-off. Paragraph 6. B. I feel certain we can perform the remainder of the journey in safety. Paragraph 7. C. A campfire soon crackled with hiss and sputter. Paragraph 8. D. Suddenly with a jolt, Will sat straight up. Paragraph 9. Number 30. Which two words best describe the guide? A. Angry. B. Courageous. C. Disloyal. D. Reliable. E. Friendly. F. Untrustworthy. Number 31, Part A. How does the author reveal the driver's unique background? A. The driver tells the other characters that he feels uneasy about the guide. B. The driver's actions show that he knows a lot about handling horses. C. The driver speaks with a different dialect from the other characters. D. The driver knows how to make a campfire, but the others do not. Part B. Which detail from the passage best supports the answer to Part A? A. The worried driver shook his shaggy head and growled while he began unhitching the horses. Paragraph 3. B. Well, I have my opinion, said the driver in a gruff voice. Paragraph 6. C. Ye was in a hurry to be a-going and wouldn't take any advice. Paragraph 6. D. A campfire soon crackled with hiss and sputter, and fragrant wood smoke filled the air. Paragraph 8. Number 32, Part A. What sort of feeling does the author create in paragraphs 11 and 12? A. Enchantment. B. Excitement. C. Foreboding. D. Melancholy. Part B. Reread paragraphs 11 and 12. Underline the 4 details that best support the answer to Part A. I heard footsteps, he whispered. He pointed with a trembling finger toward the impenetrable blackness beyond the campfire. All could then hear a soft and stealthy patter on the leaves. Then a dozen pairs of menacing yellow eyes appeared in the blackness just beyond the campfire. (33) You have read the passage from The Last Trail. The story ends when the travelers find a dozen pairs of menacing yellow eyes appearing in the blackness just beyond